Hey guys, my name is Ty Brown. I'm here going to do a video today on how to make a smoke system for your model railroad. I actually model in the larger scale, the 120.3, and I was going to put a smoke system into this building here. It was one that you refilled. I was actually using just a regular old Bachmann smoker out of a engine. And I had it all set up, put in there. It actually works pretty well, but I was only getting like a 15-minute run time out of it before it was out. So I mean, I have a modular. I go to different shows, and I could just imagine being there all day trying to fill that up every 15 minutes. So I was going to go and show how to put one together using a fog machine and the fog machine timer. I have been talking to the guys down at Sundance Central. They have a beautiful layout, and I've been talking to Frank Palmer a lot. He kind of described their system, and I've looked online, can't find anybody else that's done anything like that. I do a lot of videos, so I figure while I'm doing it, I'll start here from scratch, show how it goes together, and show how the end product works. I was only going to do this one building, but now that I'm going to build this system here, I've got three or four other buildings that have chimneys or smokestacks, and I'll just go ahead and plumb the whole thing to make all of them work. So anyway, here we are. I have it's the little 400-watt fog machine from Party City. Also have the fog machine timer. This allows you to set it to how often it goes off, because you can imagine how little smoke you'll need for even 4 stacks this size. So anyway, I got plywood here to make us a plenum box out of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my materials together. We're going to start with making the plenum box for it, and after we get that made, we'll kind of I'm kind of working my way through it, but we'll show how it goes together, and eventually, hopefully, how it works. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is work on my plenum box. What I've done is I've gone down and got a 4x8 sheet of plywood. I just went ahead and had it cut to 16-inch strips lengthwise. My box is going to be so I can use just one strip of it to start off with. I cut them to 23 inches long, and so they're 23 long and 16 inches wide. And so what I'm going to do now is I went ahead and I cut me some. I made it out of 11/32. I want to keep the box pretty thin so I can it won't be too heavy. I'm planning on going ahead and I'm going to hinge it and make a lid on it, so I can get inside of it if I need to. I'll have to seal it somehow, but anyway, we'll work on that. But what I've done is I'll go ahead and cut me some 90-degree pieces, because this is thinner, and we won't have to do some nails and stuff won't attach as easy to the thinner stuff, especially if we're joining 4 sides. I'm going to put some 90-degree pieces I made and go ahead. So I'm going to get the box built up, the 4 sides and the 4 sides and the bottom, and then we'll be back. So I'll get that done, and we'll move along from there. Okay guys, here we are back. I got the box built. I used the triangular stock you can see down there to kind of set the angles, whoops, on the bottom, and then I cut the ends to match. Okay, just gotta pull this back a little bit. All right, and then I come back, and then this top, being that it was all cut from the same piece, I had to make the top where it fit exactly inside. You can see I went around and put like a 1x1 piece all the way around, and the top fits right inside, and you just a couple screws, I can lock it in there tight all the way around. Okay, so the top just will go into place. The next thing I'm going to do is, because we're using a fog machine that uses a water and glycerin based fluid, we're going to make this watertight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and used to do model airplanes, do a lot of fiberglassing. So I've got some resin, so I'm just going to go ahead and glass the inside of this all the way around. So once it's done, it'll actually be it'll be watertight. Because after you run it a couple hours, you'll have a lot of water condensation in there. And so I'm gonna go ahead, before I put any holes in it, go ahead and glass it. And maybe I'll come back and show you how I do that here in a few minutes. Okay guys, I got the whole thing fiberglass. I don't know if you can see, you may be able to see the shininess in the bottom there. I did the whole bottom all the way around, probably about 2 to 3 inches up on the sides with 3-ounce cloth. You don't have to do the cloth, but I did anyway. So I got all the sides done, and you can see the cloth here. And I also went up the sides, all the corners I did with just a layer of cloth that went about 2 inches each direction. And then I painted the whole thing, and I'm using a 4 to 1 epoxy mix, and I've done the whole thing, even up on the top here. I've coated it. What I'll do is I'm gonna let this set overnight. It should harden up by tomorrow. I'll see if there's any thin spots anywhere, and I'll get a good thick coat of the epoxy everywhere, so that over time it doesn't eat, if a lot of moisture or a lot of oil doesn't eat through the surface into the wood itself. So the only thing I've got left to do, I do have to seal the top of the box here. I will get to that and get it sealed so I can put it in place. So this whole thing has been sealed. We'll let it harden up, and then we'll move along from there. Okay guys, here we are back. It's been about 8 hours. This is pretty much hardened up. It's just a little bit tacky around the edges. Probably have to let it get another 6-8 hours for it's just nice and solid. I'll probably put another coat up around the edges here to keep the to make sure on the inside edges, to make sure I don't have any oil that gets in the creases or anything in the corners or anything like that. But anyway, I have gone ahead and I've added here's the fog machine, and what I've done to the fog machine, I just set it up on its end, and I added a 1.5 inch pipe connect. This is just a coupler. I just put some goop and just set it on there and let it set about 8 hours, and it's nice and hard on there. I went ahead and cut a 1.5 inch hole to accept a 1.5 inch pipe coupler, and what this does is allows you to hook the machine to the box with just another pipe, and it could be pretty much any length you want. But I did make it the same height, so this can sit on the floor, and this will be sitting on the floor and it'll be the same height, so don't have the pipe bending at all. I'm starting out. This is a 3-inch computer fan. Runs on 12-volt DC. I went ahead and cut a 3-inch hole and mounted this. What this does is allow you to, after the smoke's in the box, it allows it adds fresh air. Because I was warned that if I put this inside the box or anything, it would end up getting gummed up with the oil and the water mixture, or the glycerin and the water mixture. So we've got it mounted on the outside, and what this will do, once it's running, I've already run it with the lid on, and it pushes air out here pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and once the box is all sealed, hooked up to the machine, my exit ports will be on this side over here, and that air should push it on out and through the lines. What I'm getting ready to do is, for each line that I run across there, I'm going to make add one of these. I don't have my tubing in here. I'm using a corrugated oxygen tubing, which is about 20 millimeters outside diameter, and it fits directly over the top of this. So what I'm going to do is drill a hole here, drill a hole in the end wall, and insert this and glue it in place. And if I have 4 chimneys I'm going to do, I'm going to have 4 of these. And what this will do, it'll push the air or the fog from the machine into the box, and the box out to the exits here. All right, and like I said, we sealed this because all this fog fog mixtures coming in here, and it does have a lot of water content, and this will hold the water. I'm not sure how much over time, so I may put a drain in there so I can drain it. But anyway, this should hold enough for 8 hours at a time when we go to a show. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill and install these, and this will allow me to hook up the tubing to hook up to my smokestacks. Okay guys, here we are back. I've got 2 of the exit ports installed. They were a 7/8 inch hole I had to drill in. Anyway, you can see the exits there. What I use is, see if we can get in here, I use just plain old goop. I put it around the outside of the, right up against the neck of it, and then just push it into place. That'll glue it, plus it'll seal it all around. I really like goop. I use it a lot on things. Now to secure the lid, move some of this stuff. I did put a handle. I've gone around, and like I said, these are 1x1 pieces all around the top edge. And what I've done is I've gone back and to secure the lid, I put the lid on. I made a drill that would only drill so far in. You can see it here. I drilled some 11/64 holes. Well, there's a plain hole. I'll put inserts in the rest of them. I've taken some 632. These are from some model airplane stuff. Some you can also get them just regularly at the like Lowe's or Home Depot in the specialty aisle. Some threaded inserts. How you do an insert? The insert stays permanently in the wood. And what it does is you drill a hole, and it's got the little the knurls on it, or the threads, and you have to put it on a screw. And I use 2 nuts to hold it in place. And then I put just a little bit of wood glue around the edge of it, and then we just take a drill or take a screwdriver and screw it in place, and then remove the screw. It leaves the threaded insert in there. Now, what you do have to do, you have to have the lid in place and drill through the lid and into the hole, and that makes sure everything lines up. And that's why I did the drill with just a certain depth on it, so I wouldn't go all the way through the bottom to break my seal. It would just go a little ways down in there. Once the glue dries on the thread inserts, they'll be permanent, and when you put the screw through the lid into that, it won't go anywhere. So these are really easily installed. I'm gonna get those put in, and then we'll move along from there. Okay, here's the box, pretty much finished. Like I said, I'm gonna add probably a couple more ports out here at this end over here. Anyway, one thing you need to think about, and I did not think, I use 11/64 inch drill to drill for the 632 inserts. So whatever insert you decide to use, like if you're going to use this is 632 screw, these are just thumb screws I bought a long time ago, and they're nylon, is I should have thought better. I should have drilled this out at a smaller hole for the 632 size, and then gone back and drilled out for the insert. It's not really going to make a difference, because once I got them screwed in, I can still lift the box with, I did put a handle in the middle so I can pick it up and move it. But yeah, if you're going to put the inserts in, just make sure that you drill the hole to the size of the screw first, then go back and enlarge the hole for whatever size insert you're going to use down on the bottom piece. The top piece, you just want it to be so the screw fits nice and snug as it goes through. And I didn't think about that before. It's been a while since I put any of those in. So just trying to help you out. All right, I've got the box pretty much finished up. We're going to go try to set the machine up and see how it works. Okay guys, here we are. I'm going to show you my final installation after a little trial and error. I'll show you what I did in my trial and error. As you saw earlier, I had a 3-inch computer fan on the outside, and I hooked the system up and it would run, but the problem I was running with was that it was not allowing the fog to go into here because it was creating, with it all closed up, it's creating so much pressure, it was pushing it back and keeping it in the machine. So that I was getting some smoke, but I was really hindered by the fact there was enough pressure in the box here to keep it from getting into the chamber. So what I had to do is figure out how to get the air pass, let the fog enter the machine or the box here, and then be blown out into the system. So what I came up with was I came down here on the end and built a box, a small box, and I just took more epoxy. I put some epoxy and micro balloons and put me a side in there and an end, and you can see I have 4 exits down there, and I got a lid for it. Now what I've done is I come in here and I've got one of these little really cheap little hand fans. You buy these for like $1 or $2 at the store, at the dollar store, and you can make sure when you buy it you get 2 or 3 so in case you burn a motor up. I've run these motors on other things for like 8-10 hours at a time without any problem, but eventually I'm sure they will wear out. What it is, I pulled it apart and I ran electrical lines out of it, and so it comes in here and I can run it at different speeds using a old train transformer. And so what this does, this allows the box to fill with the fog or smoke, and it's not creating a pressure going back that direction, so it allows it to fill very nicely, and then it pulls the air or pulls the fog down into here and out the tubes. And I'll show you how it works going out those tubes. But it works really well. It just takes a couple times to get enough fog in there to make it start working. I do have the timer works really well. Yeah, I put like a 3 or 4 second duration of getting the fog into it, and then it's the duration between intervals. You have to just figure out what works for you. I'll probably have this one set over on maybe 30 or 40 seconds between intervals, because I'm only running 2 stacks right at the moment just to test this thing out. One other thing you do have to do, I've got to cover this hole, but you do have to leave a small hole here for air intake, because it pulls air in across the whole system and then down out the tubes on the other end. So once it's all boxed up, it works really well. Like I said, I'll show you some video of the whole system working, but it just works out really well. I probably, well, after you get the fog machine, you got to buy that. That's what, 30, 40, 50 in that setup there, just by itself. But in this box, I probably got, counting the fan and everything, I probably got $25, $30 in the whole thing. Another thing you can buy is the corrugated oxygen tubing. You can see there, this is my test setup, but I bought 100 feet of it for $5.80. It cost me more to ship it than it did to get the tubing. So this will allow me to run to 4 stacks, and that's just what, 25 foot per thing in my if I need, and I don't have that far of a distance to go, so 100 feet will do me well. You can see the 4 exits, and I've got 2 cut off at the moment. But anyway, I'll get this thing up and running, let you see how it works. But it works really well for me. If you have any questions, you feel free to email me or text me. Not text me, email me or call me. But this works really well. Like I said, you do need to make sure that once I built this box, I did seal the whole thing once again with epoxy, top and bottom. So it's all sealed up. So if it gets any water in there, it should just it shouldn't hurt the wood at all. Actually, the bottom's got like two or three coats on it, and it's pretty slick on the bottom here. So let me get it all put together. I'll show you what it looks like, and we'll finish up this video. Okay guys, I'm back. After I showed you the last little bit, I had a couple changes I made. You can see here, I got a different fan set up. And like everything evolving, you kind of have changes to make it work better. But anyway, you can see the smoke coming out of this house here. It's working really well. I found a fan, talking to Dale McNone, the Sundance guys. He was telling me about a different fan, and I purchased one. It works great. It runs a lot slower, moves the smoke a lot better. Anyway, you can see that one there. I got this one here. We're running really nice and slow. You can see me breathing on it, making it change direction. And then my last house, I got 3 set up right now, and it's hard to tell with the light background, but the smoke's coming out of there just as well as it is on the others. But anyway, you can see I've got 3 lines. I have the ability set up 4. I just don't have the 4th one set up right now. Actually, smoke's coming out of there at the bottom because I don't have that capped off very well. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear the smoke out and then show you the changes I've made. And it actually works really well now. You can, like I said, you can see that the house, this is a new house I've added on that was been on the layout, but I've added smoke to it. Still got to paint the smokestack and everything, but you can see it's smoking really well. But anyway, let me get this cleaned up. I'll show you the changes I made. The whole system's working really well right now. What'll find out is how it works over an 8-hour period. So let me get this cut off, cleared the smoke out, and we'll finish this video up. Okay guys, here we are back at the box. I'm going to show you the changes I've made, and it actually works really well now, as you saw just a few minutes, just a second ago. Anyway, what I've done is I've taken out the small, that little pink fan I had in there. That was just a temporary one. It worked all right, but anyway, I've got a new fan. It fit right into the, I had to widen the hole just a little bit that I had in there. And this is a bilge fan for a boat. And it's you can see the propeller there. Anyway, it is made for boats, but anyway, the good thing about it is it runs really nice and slow compared to that other one. I can, let's see. You can't see it, but I can get it to where it just barely turns, and just a really slow rotation of that fan is what you want to give you the nice slow smoke compared to what I had with the other fan. Anyway, that fits right down in there, and this is not even, this piece here is not even nailed in place or screwed in place. It just slides over and just kind of gives you a chamber to move that air, move the smoke from the big chamber out to the pipes. Put that back in place. The other thing I've done is right here where there was a the original setup had a computer fan here, and it just blew way too much smoke, way too much air, too fast. And having a fan here also kept the smoke or the small fog from moving from here into the chamber. And what would happen is enough pressure built up in the box that it would not allow it to move out of the fog machine, or just very little of it. So anyway, what I've done is I've taken that same hole, I've left the hole in it, I've taken and put a piece of wood over it, and what I've done, I've taken a 1.5 inch pipe, same pipe I have here, and it's just, I got the vent on there so it just doesn't blow straight into the box. I just wanted it to you have to allow air to come into the box so it can come across and go down and pull the fog with it. So what I've done is, so when this thing goes off and expels fog in there, if I leave it short like that, if I leave it short like this, I get just a little bit of fog that comes out. But if I take and put an extension on it, it still allows air to come through, but fog does not go all the way out the end. Because the duration of you can set with the controller here the duration that you want the fog to come out. So it doesn't have to come out all the time. I mean, it doesn't come out all the time. You set it for like 3 to 5 seconds, and then so much time in between, just according to how much smoke you need. Anyway, this setup now works really well. Like I said, I'm going to go to a train show here in a week and a half, and we'll see what it does over an 8-hour period. Hopefully it'll run really well. Everything, once again, everything in the box is sealed. All the whole interior has been painted with epoxy, so any moisture will just settle in the bottom. I'll wipe it up at the end or drain it out. But anyway, as you saw a few minutes ago, the system works really well. I'm really tickled with it. We're going to see how it does, like I said, for over an 8-hour period. But thank y'all for putting up with the changes in the box, the changes in the system. I think if you plan on doing anything like this, this should help you out. And like I said, I do appreciate the guys at Sundance that helped me get this setup going. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and feel free to email me or ask any questions you may have. Thank you.